Kristen, take it away.
Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to an evening of impact. The presentation of the excellent results of the community acceleration projects brought to you by the Leadership Brevard class of 2025 members, powered by Lead Brevard. You'll be excited to see the impact of all of these projects and the work that these leaders have contributed to the community. I really want to help everyone recognize that we're here to celebrate the success of these projects. The projects actually are part of the Leadership Brevard program. They started in September when our nonprofit partners joined all the participants and made their pitch for the time, talent, and treasure of these leaders to join their teams. The teams then self-selected into projects and worked with the organization partners to define goals and implement solutions. Each team, this is an incredible statistic, every team averaged 92 volunteer hours over the last 8 months. The independent sector tells us through research that the value of a volunteer hour in dollars is $34.79 as recently as 2024. So the economic impact of those hours per team is over $3,200. There were 9 teams that participated with the Leadership Brevard class of 2025. And that means that economic impact just in that one metric is $28,809. $28,809 has been contributed to our 9 nonprofit partners and to your community, to our community, by this group of outstanding leaders. So thank you. Thank you. This is real community change powered by professional leadership. Our RFP, or request for proposals for community acceleration projects for next year's Leadership Brevard class, will open June 1, just in a couple of weeks. And we encourage all of you who are attached to either as a staff, a volunteer, a board member, who are part of our nonprofit sector community and are interested in potentially partnering with the class members of Leadership Brevard 2026. After you see the results that have been accomplished this evening, you will be pounding down our door to be one of those projects in 2026. This is a hugely valuable component for our Leadership Brevard participants as they work together in non-intact teams and learn to work out whatever challenges they may have as a team, either within that team or within their relationship with their project partner. It's not always 100% smooth sailing, but that's life, that's leadership, and we're so excited to bring this to you tonight. So I want to thank all of our nonprofit partners, our class teams, and we have 2 board members who will be joining us on camera this evening, both related to a project and just to this community. But I will recognize a little later our current Lead Brevard board chairman, Shayla Murray Smith, and our chairman-elect, Monica Newman McClooney. So I am grateful for your presence here this evening, your support, and we probably have other board members, and I know we have many community members and Leadership Brevard alumni, friends and family of Lead Brevard, watching from wherever you may be and looking at one of our participants' backgrounds, could even be watching from space. So I am excited again to say welcome. I'm Kristen Bakke. I'm with Lead Brevard. I want to recognize, before I forget to do so, all of the hard work that Candace Barton has put into a successful evening. So thank you, Candace. We appreciate you. And it is now time to recognize and introduce the first team. The first team is Aging Matters in Brevard, and they worked on a 60th anniversary campaign. Take it away.
While Rusty's loading everything, I will start. He's sharing his screen. One of the things that we wanted to say is that our community service hours were logged at 150 hours for our group. And we produced video that ranges in price from $4,000 to $8,000. And our basic branding package that we put together was valued between $5,000 and $15,000. The companies that worked on this included, obviously, we did this for Lead Brevard, but Catered Dish, Florida Blue, The Owl, Barfly Custom Graphics, Salty Studios, Embraer, Space Coast Association of Realtors, ITG Realty, and Acadian Contractors. Take it away.
Sandra. All right.
Aging Matters isn't just a name. It's a promise, and for us, it's deeply personal. Each of us has a senior in our lives, a grandparent, a neighbor, a mentor, who has shaped who we are. And some of them are now facing aging alone, in silence, or with the struggles they never expected. That's why Aging Matters is so necessary to our county. It steps in where family resources or time fall short, offering care, dignity, and connection to those who once cared for us. People like Bob remind us why this work matters. For many years, Bob was truly the heart and soul of the work at Aging Matters. As a dedicated office volunteer, he warmly welcomed everyone who came through the doors. He also made a significant impact as a generous donor, contributing greatly to the Aging Matters mission. Today, the roles have reversed, and it's our honor to serve him, not just as a client, but as a dear friend. Bob and his story is just one among many others. With over 100,000 seniors residing in Brevard County, Aging Matters simply does not have the resources to accommodate its ever-growing waiting list.
Okay, so some cool data. In 2023, there was over 2,000 one-way trips provided for seniors in our community, close to 4,000 man-hours for seniors at home assistance, and approximately 400,000 meals served through programs like Meals on Wheels.
We created a base for a year-long campaign for the Aging Matters 60th anniversary in an easy-to-implement format, including a logo, ads, press releases, and a new informative video. We began to restructure the messaging of Aging Matters with this ever-changing media front to encompass all aspects of what they want to provide. We focused on tangible aspects of Aging Matters in a 6-item-oriented campaign of meals, volunteers, coolers, grab bars, pet food, and Christmas gifts as a way to connect with the general audience. We chose to present an overarching message and tagline of celebrating 60 years of giving, which can easily morph into celebrating giving during the next years.
As part of the campaign, we've also created a full set of new logos. This provided the organization with a cohesive and professional brand identity without the added cost of design work, resources that now can go directly toward helping seniors. These logos are built to last and can be used for years to come. One of the most special pieces is the new van designs, proudly displaying all the program logos, a moving symbol of unity, outreach, and care, traveling through our community.
We considered partnering with a PR agency to write a press release, but having met with the Aging Matters staff, visiting their locations, and actually doing a Meals on Wheels delivery day, we all felt, who better to write a press release than us? We were able to give Aging Matters a specific press release for a specific event, but more importantly, we gave them a template they could use for their 60th anniversary all year long.
This campaign is our way of saying we see you, we remember you, and you still matter. Join us in making sure that no senior in our community is forgotten. Support Aging Matters, because growing older should not be growing invisible.
Oh my goodness. What a great job. I know I'm going to say that at the end of every presentation tonight, but kudos to you all. That is so near and dear also to our heart. We've worked with Aging Matters and their leadership for a number of years. So thank you for doing such a great job of bringing their 60th anniversary celebration to light and utilizing a campaign that allows them to take that, your good work, forward beyond this year. Many, many congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our pleasure. Thank you again. Right on time. And in fact, perhaps a minute early, but I know everybody's here and dialed in. Brevard FCA, All Abilities Community Awareness and Engagement Initiative Community Acceleration Project team is up next.
Thanks, Kristen. Let me know when you can see the PowerPoint. Great. My name is Grant Haas, and I am on the CAP Team project, which partnered with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, specifically their All Abilities programming. The FCA All Abilities mission is to create a more inclusive and informed these athletes can contribute and feel valued. So our leadership Brevard Class of 2025 CAP project was asked to help increase public awareness for FCA All Abilities programs and activities. By doing so, we created a goal to reach 10,000 people throughout the time frame of our project. And to reach these 10,000 people, we created a 5-phase public awareness engagement plan. Phase 1 was to enhance FCA All Abilities online presence through assessing their current website, creating a slogan, and overhauling their social media efforts. Phase 2 was to engage the All Abilities special needs sectors in the Brevard community by identifying parent ambassadors, hosting open house events, and engaging Brevard schools and religious communities. Phase 3 was through media engagement by utilizing connections with local news organizations in an effort to produce a human interest story on FCA All Abilities. Phase 4 is by bolstering FCA All Abilities programming by utilizing government connections in an effort to assist FCA All Abilities with scheduling events at the Field of Dreams Space Coast Park in West Melbourne, Florida. And then the 5th phase was to support a capstone event by raising awareness for annual FCA All Abilities Family Fun Day and to connect FCA to local businesses. Now, unfortunately, while we had some wins in our project also encountered a lot of challenges. So we kind of want to run through the timeline of events. In September of 2024, we assembled our team, and it was at this point where we focused our efforts towards the organization of FCA All Abilities as a whole. Then in October of 2024, we began our weekly team meetings and bi-weekly meetings with leaders from the FCA All Abilities team. And it was at this point we focused our project again on the Space Coast Field of Dreams Park. And this is the Space Coast Field of Dreams Park that's built in West Melbourne, Florida, specifically for All Abilities programming. Now, in November of 2024, we did a site visit of the park. And again, in speaking with FCA All Abilities leaders, we found that they wanted to focus more on the park, less on the park and more on their organization as a whole again. So again, in November 2024, we decided to start developing our goals, right? And this is when we came up with our goal to reach 10,000 people. But again, the goal shifted because FCA All Abilities is a mission-driven nonprofit. And so when they are mission-driven, their goals shift often and rapidly. So in December 2024, we realigned our team and we shifted again towards their organizational goals. We had another pivot here. In January 2024, this is when we presented our engagement plan that we talked about earlier, the 5-phase engagement plan. And we presented this to FCA All Abilities leaders, and it was very well received. But again, unfortunately, FCL abilities, their mission-driven work led to a more rapid time frame than the kind of the long-term plan that we had for them through our engagement plan. And their rapid time frame and the asks they had for us were not within our limitations as a CAT team project, and so we had to put a pause on our efforts. And then we engaged with members of the leadership of our team, Kristen and Candace, to try to see if there was any way to kind of reorganize what we could do for FCL abilities. But unfortunately, to no fault of anybody, we just kind of ran out of time, and we had to disengage from the project. There are many lessons to be learned, however. The first is to ensure alignment on project focus and scope from the start is so critical in making sure that we have a benchmark to move forward. The second is that success metrics need to be clearly defined, right? If we have benchmarks as we go through the project, it's easy to determine whether we are on track. The third is by assisting nonprofits engage in mission-driven work can be complex. Once again, to no fault of anybody, mission-driven work can lead to rapid and often changes in goals. The fourth is to don't honor sunk costs. And I think we did a good job in this as a team to make sure that once we noticed that the asks were without or not within our limitations as a CAP team, to kind of take a step away and to spend our time assisting other nonprofits. And the fifth is teamwork and communication above all. Once again, we believe our team did great teamwork and communicated well with each other and also with the leadership of our team in order to make sure that we were able to help FCL abilities the best we could. While our CAP project may be over, FCL abilities is still just getting started. We encourage you all to spread the word, to share the mission of FCL abilities through conversations, through social media and personal networks, to volunteer your time. They always need help coaching and mentoring or administrative support, to attend and promote events, to show support by attending FCL abilities events and encouraging others to join, and to share your success stories, to highlight your achievements and personal growth. We want to thank you all. Again, my name is Grant Haas. The rest of our team was Nicholas Marotta, Jim Passarelli, Christina Talbot, and Caitlin Winchester. Thank you.
And thank you to you all and to the dedication that you showed to your team and to your project partner. Not all of our leadership lessons are always easy. It is a challenge. Again, putting a non-intentional several times. So we were very grateful for the communication and outreach that you made both to them and with us. And I'm delighted to see the leadership outcomes because while Leadership Brevard is not a leadership skills training program per se, there are certainly leadership lessons that happen for all of us over the course of the year and within our leadership classes and our community acceleration projects. So once again, kudos. We applaud the work and dedication, and thank you for helping to lift up FAC All Abilities, their community awareness and engagement initiative. Thank you all. Our next team worked with Endeavor Elementary, a community partnership school, and the title of their project, Community Acceleration Team, was called Make It Real Mentoring. So Endeavor Elementary.
Hi, my name's Nahal McConaughey, and Abby is going to go ahead and start the presentation for us.
Hello, everybody. We're part of the Endeavor Elementary Community Partnership School CAP team. And Make It Real Mentoring was the name of the ask for our CAP project. And on the next slide, you'll see a picture of all of us standing at Endeavor Elementary. We think it's really important to identify all of our members of our group. So myself, Nahel, Brian, Amber, Amoy, and Anthony. And give kudos to all of our companies for supporting us in this endeavor, because companies connecting to empower community is really what our CAP project was all about.
Yeah, so Endeavor was our CAP project, and Endeavor is a community hub school that really focuses on addressing barriers like education, hunger, poverty, and inadequate access to healthcare. They have on-site medical professionals, and we were actually able to shared a personal story that really moved us. They had a young girl there who had severe toothache and she was having trouble focus and just in pain and acting out. Thanks to Endeavor, they were actually able to utilize community outreach and get her toothache completely fixed and dental work done at no cost whatsoever. The result of this saw significant improvements in the student's behavior as well as her academic performance. Next slide. The ask from Endeavor initially was for volunteers and mentorships. They really wanted people to come in and mentor their students and young kids. But they did make it very clear with mentorship, they wanted consistency. They said when mentors come and start to miss some of the sessions and aren't there every week, it really devastates the children and has a negative impact on them. So this created some roadblocks for us as a team. We obviously didn't want to have any sort of negative effect on the children. And with all of our busy schedules, it was tough to commit on a weekly basis. In addition, it required a level 2 background check, as well as going through their mentorship training through Brevard Public Schools, and then obviously the weekly commitment. The other roadblock was communicating. They're a little bit understaffed, so getting answers in a timely manner and for us to complete things did create some issues initially for our CAP team. Now on to Anthony.
All right, pivot to win it. It's what we had to do here. So as Amber said, we're not able to meet the original ask of the project. But however, as a team, we regrouped, brainstormed, and found alternate ways that we could help support. As the Children's Home Society of Florida is truly a nonprofit, and we learned throughout the year, Lee Brevard, nonprofits could use help in other ways than just that original ask. So we contributed to the following. We donated toys for the school's Christmas drive. We purchased essential items for their hub. And the hub is just a way that they support students and families with basic needs. We directly connected the school with at least 2 local businesses, of course, outside of our own, to assist with volunteers and hopefully donations. We participated in the school's literacy day where we read to students. We helped increase online engagement and their presence via social media. We participated in one of their major volunteer events, which was Garden Night, and this was an after-school event where we helped students plant and create their own gardens to bring home. And then last, we volunteered as chaperones for their first grade class. It was a field trip to the Warbird Museum in Titusville.
With a project like this one, you have to adapt and overcome, especially with nonprofits that are resource limited. The best way to do that is to over-communicate your plans and ensure a clear understanding of how to most efficiently execute that plan. You also have to think outside normal avenues for supporting the project and use non-traditional ideas to bridge those gaps between the school, students, and of course, the ultimate goal of supporting in general. Any volunteer organization has to be prepared for staffing shortages and a volunteer staff that is strapped for time, especially at a school where anyone able to volunteer is already spending all of their time with the students themselves, which is also their actual goal. The way to get past that is persistence and going for the long game to build trust and relationships. This is how someone already on the field doing the hard job with the kids can sort of ease off and know that your volunteer team can be trusted to be invested in the efforts that you're trying to make for them. This matters a complete. The biggest lesson learned for anyone, obviously be patient. If you can't be patient, you can't get these things done. The school needs that, the students need that, the parents need that, and of course, we need that so that we can get to the ultimate goal of simply just helping the school. That is all.
Endeavor Elementary has a significant impact on the community. It serves as a hub for education, support, and collaboration. With its holistic approach, it benefits the students, families, and the community. It enhances student outcome, provides family and community engagement, and provides access to essential services. Examples of the positive impact that it's made on the community include improved academic performance of the students, reduced absenteeism, and the school actually increased their school grade, resulting in the highest school grade in the last 14 years, and collaboration among local organizations, nonprofits, and businesses. Endeavor also provides access to healthcare, counseling, and social services, along with access to basic needs like food, clothing, and housing assistance. By addressing the interconnected needs of education, health, and family support, the school uplifts the entire community.
Working with Endeavor Elementary was deeply rewarding and made a personal impact on each of us. We made a tangible difference by directly impacting student lives, assisting with their education, well-being, and future opportunities. As leaders, we were able to gain insight into the challenges and resilience of the underserved communities. We also experienced the joy and gratitude of seeing the positive outcomes of our efforts, feeling a sense of accomplishment, knowing that we were able to support an organization that creates opportunities for others. We also inspired by leading from the front and showing the students the value of giving back in a positive and meaningful way. This journey has allowed us to gain a deeper appreciation for our own life circumstances and a broader understanding of societal challenges. Our community action project supporting Endeavor Elementary was more than just giving our time. It was an opportunity to grow, connect, and leave a lasting positive impact on those who need it most.
Okay, and if you've got your phones out, please go ahead and scan that QR code. We still want the community to know that Endeavor needs your help. They need help for the Amazon wish list, which is all the basic needs that the students and the families need at Endeavor. They need volunteer for school events, mentors for students, corporate sponsors, of course, dine out events where they get a percentage donated back to the school every time you eat out, Christmas toy drive, and then again, there's all their social media handles to help them spread the word about Endeavor. As a CAP team, we've greatly enjoyed this experience, and I think our final and last slide says it the best. True leadership isn't about being seen, it's about seeing others, lifting voices, and building a legacy through service that outlives us all. Thank you.
I'm so glad that I started this conversation by saying you're going to hear this over and over, but kudos to your team. You know, it's a great Endeavor is a great asset to our community. It's also a school with a lot of needs, as so many of our nonprofit partners in schools have needs. You know, your closing slide reminds me a little bit of, I'll paraphrase, you know, when is the best time to plant a tree? You know, it's before you need the shade. And, you know, we may not live to see the shade that tree, you know, offers, but, you know, seeing you engage with the school partners, and the fact that you've taken away some leadership, personal gains as well as contributions, that's all part of the impact of these projects. So again, well done to your group and excited to hear the outcomes. I see that our next group is up and ready to go, so that's great. This group worked with the Early Learning Coalition of Brevard, SOAR by 4. So team, all up to you. Take it away.
Good evening. My name is Candace, and our group was made up of Michelle, Steve, myself, and Mike. And we worked with Early Learning Coalition for their SOAR by 4 marketing campaign. So to give a little information on the Early Learning Coalition, or ELC, their mission is to strive to ensure children and families have access to the quality, affordable early learning programs and services necessary to better ensure their successful futures. They aim to maintain a quality early learning system with programs that respect family needs. So they do this by targeting school readiness children and offering programs like free VPK programs. I'm sorry, can you go to the next slide? Thank you. And they have a lot of children that are already enrolled in this. So this campaign that they are working on now, the SOAR by 4, is to get some of those students prior to going into these programs. So if we go to the next slide, you'll see that their target audience for this was parents and caregivers of children aged from 0 to 4, and different community partners that can assist with this. So in this project, we worked on a marketing campaign, and in order for them to find where they needed to target and provide additional materials. If we can go to the next slide, please. So some of the some of the deliverables that we had in this project were determining heat map areas, so the areas of need that they had for where they can focus for either book deserts or just communication deserts, areas that they could reach out to. We provided a list of organizations and as well as social media influencers and groups that would help them to implement this campaign and get that going. We created a survey to also help assist with getting the word out there and determining how people have heard about ELC or ways that they can improve and get their message out there. We created key messaging, feedback on their current website to try to make it a little bit more attractive, and then identified potential locations for learning trails, as well as creating a video to kind of give a teaser for this 4x4 campaign that they have going on. So the community impact on this one, while all of everything that we have created is to prepare for this program. So at this time, the community impact hasn't quite yet occurred. So once we get everything delivered to them and they can begin implementing it and using it, this will allow them to improve their services, enhance community engagement, and have more targeted support for what they're doing. So these next slides are just going over some of those areas of need for different for the different areas that we have proposed that they focus their campaigns on so that they can reach for that. And Steve will give a little bit more information on what that campaign looks like. Thank you.
Thank you, Candace. If you can go to the next slide. Oop, back one. So we have a full report that we will send to the Early Learning Coalition with some of the marketing plans, and really it will become a sphere of influence target when we have some details in that. But really finding partner champions. It's an amazing organization. I think what struck all of us is that just that importance of that milestone of that 3 to 4 year old where you learn to read and then you read to learn, and the importance of that in the full development of it. So this is a partial synopsis here. So this is some of the organizations in the county that are literacy focused, would be good partners. If you go to the next slide. A social media digital campaign outline. We suggested using mommy bloggers on the social media aspect to kind of get that endorsement and let moms talk to moms as far as the importance, because a big piece of this is not just getting the child in the program to learn to read and improve those literacy skills, but also teaching and coaching the family. So I think we thought it would be an important kind of social support for the families, because it's not just educating children, it's educating the families of the importance as advocates first. So survey overview, really important. This one got a little bit delayed in some of the struggles along the way, but really just to keep an active survey with their current partners to find out what needs to be addressed and how they're accessing and kind of find those missing pockets on reaching that. There's a lot of EPA programs that they have in place and that they support, but there are certain pockets that they're still kind of a desert on that. So we thought the survey would be important, and some key targeting messages across different channels that we provided to them, as well as kind of the branding for the SOAR by 4 campaign. Website feedback, just some general suggestions of ease of use on that. Really make it simple for people to try to navigate and figure out where they need to be to sign up, or even create a kind of a request to again with the feedback to identify where the need is and how to let people engage with them. So the learning trails, which was we were hopeful. We had a little bit of a shuffle. Like another group said, we had to learn to pivot a little bit here. So the learning trails kind of became in, and then it didn't, and then we're delayed. So we're hopeful that we'll have a couple of our group. They are installing one in Cocoa soon, but it's after the graduation. So hopefully we'll be part of that. And then we also provided a couple of additional sites that were kind of multi-use. One is in Satellite Beach. It's the former DeSoto Park. It's a fitness trail. Might be a good fit there. Well, not the best class ever. We also have the next 2 slides. The points of contact are Lead Brevard, former best class ever graduate. So it might be a good connection there to try to get some avenues in to get these learning trails. And it really just makes it an interactive way to engage reading in the youth. So pretty cool. One of the suggestions we did have for that is really to find the maintenance background, because it's not just the installation. One of the concerns we found was the ongoing maintenance and upkeep. So we're moving along really quickly here. If you can keep going. Obviously, we had our challenges. Really, communication. We lost some of our team along the way. We had a couple of pivot points, but I think we came up and kind of pulled it together at the end. Really decreased brand expertise, and hopefully the presentation and the marketing plan that we'll submit to them in the background will be helpful to get that going. It really is an amazing call to action to get the community involved, which would be volunteers. Some of their funding is very restricted. Go to the call to action. Next slide. We're going to run on time here. The call to action would be for increasing volunteerism. Again, it really will be the sphere of influence, finding there's a list of Rotary groups and that type of marketing campaign to get the materials out there, and find partners in the community, whether it's other nonprofits and other literacy focused organizations. And then as a bonus, since we didn't really finish here, we created just a kind of a teaser video of something they could use on social media or to kick it off with the marketing campaign. So that kind of concludes it. So we didn't get to finish everything, but hopefully we got them and hit the ground running. And then we'll submit the materials in the backdrop to the group directly. So thank you.
Thank you all. Again, just another fabulous job and so exciting to see all of the success. It's, for our audience, all of our Leadership Brevard participants, I'll say all, there's maybe a caveat here and there, but almost everybody all of the time is employed full-time, working in the home or outside of the home or both. They are with us in the Leadership Brevard program a day a month from September through the spring. And then these community acceleration project teams come together with the community partners in off times, as it were. So it's the time spent is in addition to all of the work that they're already doing. And I want to recognize and applaud that. And again, say thank you. So our next group is Elevate Brevard, Cocoa Champions.
Les, is there any way you can start that slideshow?
On the left-hand side where it says from beginning.
share. Got it now?
Yes. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I am Avery Eubank. Our CAP team consisted of Mindy, Kayla, Janet, Emily, and Les, and myself. And we had the pleasure of working with Elevate Brevard and the Cocoa Championship Project. You might have to go through them, Les. I don't think I can control it. All right, so quick overview. We worked with Cocoa High School seniors, graduating class. Basically, the program was tying rewards to mentoring. So basically, mentoring the students to complete tasks, and in return, they receive monetary rewards. Next slide. Just some quick statistics on why Cocoa High School was chosen for this project by Elevate Brevard. I think the biggest thing that sticks out on this slide is the post-secondary enrollment rate is at 32% compared to 54% in Brevard County. This is just a quick look at some of the items that could be signed off. For example, FAFSA, completing that application, participating in a career fair, or sitting for a college entrance exam. And these were all things you could get signed off to earn rewards. Real quick, we have a video that was thrown together.
Denise Stewart, principal of Cocoa High. We've been working with Elevate Brevard for the last couple of years, providing opportunities for after high school employment in the local community. Last summer, Elevate Brevard came to me and they come up with a plan where we would really be very methodical about the way that we help support students in preparing for post-secondary success. We have a lot of students who do have a plan, but we still have students that have not come up with a plan for after graduation. And our goal is that we have every kid with a plan for after graduation. The impact that it's had on the students and not just our senior class, our juniors are now talking about what they want to do. There's really just been a sort of a redirection of what are the opportunities after high school and how does the high school diploma get me into that opportunity.
My name is Destiny Small. I'm in 12th grade and I'm in Cocoa Champions. I plan on going to college. I plan on becoming a travel nurse and furthering my education. It's been very motivational, definitely. A lot of times when you're in high school, you tend to think that, oh, you're just in high school just to pass, and graduate and get out of school. It's something that reminds me of everything I've accomplished over the years. What I'm going through doesn't make me, I make it.
My name is Kayla Martinez Aviles. Me being a Latina in the community and experiencing a lot of the struggles that I had growing up and sometimes not having a role model to look like that looks like me, and letting them know, hey, I was there and I made it. You can do it too. Regardless of the obstacles that get in your way, you can do it because I'm here. So I'm a testament to that. We've worked on completing their FAFSA, interviewing. What does an interview look like? And we're going to be showing them how to complete their resumes. What does an application look like? What do you complete? And all that information.
My name is Brianna Morales Camacho. I go to Cocoa High and I'm a senior. I want to go to college for business, but I also have been talking to a recruiter for the military, so I'm just like in between right now. It just gives you a lot of options, making you more confident, and I'm really excited to see where everything goes. And I know that this is going to be really helpful because we've learned a lot in the process. I think everyone should do it. And since this is the first year that they did it, like I'm happy that it was during my senior year, and I hope it continues.
My name is Hillary Poole. I work for Brevard Public Schools in the Department of Student Services. Elevate Brevard allowed us to come in and work with them from the very beginning. They brought us in to ask us, what the needs were. We did our needs assessment, and they were adamant about being very deliberate and intentional with this program. We've incentivized this so if students get a choice of gift cards, and we keep a running log of what they've accomplished. The students have definitely bought into this. It's nice to see, the aha light bulb moment. And if they do these things, it will move the needle in their lives.
My name's Cynthia, and I'm a senior at Cocoa High School, and I'm participating with Cocoa Champions. It's been a good experience. I like it. After high school, I want to go to the military. I want to go to the army. Still want to work in the medical field. Coco Champions has really made me think of what I want to do because it gave me so many ideas. I have my plan and hopefully that works out for me. I honestly didn't expect where I would be here now because this whole program did make me grow and be more responsible.
I'm Les Vale. I'm the Regional Sales Manager at Co-Advantage. This campus is an amazing campus. The students have been very open to us coming in and talking with them and helping them and guiding them. And you can share some of your life experiences and you realize that we actually have similarities.
I'm Avery Eubank. I'm a project superintendent for Warden Smith Construction. Being able to impact students and be kind of there for them, for especially some students who don't have anyone there for them in life, I think that really makes a huge impact and, changes lives. Being a mentor, I think, really is the biggest impact you can have. Just being there for some of these students and kind of walking them through and explaining, they put that little bit of effort forward, there's huge payoff at the end of that. It's not so much what's the next step, it's what's the next 10 steps. Planning out their entire future instead of what's your end goal. Everyone's got an impact, though. Everybody connects with different people.
Denise Stewart, principal of Cocoa High. We've been working with Elevate Brevard for the last couple of years, providing opportunities.
All right, I'll stop. I'm sorry.
That's all good. Just try to pause it and then maybe hit the space bar. I'll take you to the next one. We're down at the bottom left.
Employment.
Those little arrows at the bottom left there.
Okay.
All right, so real quick, I know we're running short on time here. So challenges and wins. We came into this project a little late after some of the critical dates for FAFSA, things like that. So it kind of led us as a group to come up with a broader vision of what it could be in the future, ways to improve and build upon this first year of this program taking place. But the focus was heavily on the seniors still graduating, but also we want to kind of trickle down to the younger students and capture them earlier on and get them really thinking about their futures. Next slide. Lessons learned. You got to be regularly involved to make a difference. You got to be there for these kids. You got to show up. Sometimes it's a simple conversation that could spur that thought in that kid's head, say, hey, this is actually what I want to do. I haven't really been thinking about it, but this is the direction I want to go. And it's, getting in there early and getting involved with them early is really important as well. Our call to action, we just need mentors. We need more people to be involved. I feel like the more diverse group of people we can have talking to these students, the more there's a chance for a lot of these kids to connect with different people in different industries. So we ask anyone that would like to be involved to really come join us because this is going to be an ongoing thing and we look to improve upon it. And that's it.
Gosh, super. Thank you all. And it's so exciting to see in these CAP team projects how one conversation can make such a difference in somebody's life, and that there are lots and lots of opportunities for other community members to get involved with these nonprofits and other partner organizations. So thank you to the team that worked with Elevate Brevard and Cocoa Champions. And I know that you had a big success, an event last evening, I think, where there were scholarship awards, and that must have been very exciting to participate and see that come to fruition. So well done to you all. Thank you. It's my pleasure at this time to recognize our chairman-elect, Monica Newman McClooney, who is with Embraer. And I just invite you to offer your welcome and remarks. And thank you for making time to be with us this evening.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Kristen. Good evening, everyone. My name is Monica Newman McClooney, Chairman-elect of Lead Brevard, and a proud graduate of the Leadership Brevard class of 2022, the best class ever. Leadership Brevard has been one of the most personally impactful experiences of my professional and civic life. It's challenged me to grow beyond my comfort zone, helped me to see my leadership in new ways, and connected me to a network of people who care deeply about the future of our community. This program isn't just about developing leadership skills, it's about discovering your voice, your vision, and your unique capacity to drive change. It's about surrounding yourself with other passionate, engaged individuals who are committed to building something better together. The CAP project experience was a true highlight. It pushed us to listen more closely, think more strategically, and serve more intentionally. It showed us that real impact doesn't happen in isolation. It happens when leaders roll up their sleeves and work hard, hand in hand, with the community. If you're considering joining Leadership Brevard, let me encourage you to do it. Invest in yourself and say yes to this opportunity. Enrollment for the class of 2026 is open now. And trust me, it will be the next best class ever. Step into your leadership journey today. Our community is waiting for you and needs what only you can offer. Thank you so much for allowing me some time on your program this evening.
Thank you, Monica. And thank you for the great encouragement, and anybody who is interested in joining the next best class of Leadership Brevard, the class of 2026, as Monica said, enrollment is open now. That information is available on our website, or you can reach out to any team member at Lead Brevard. So, Monica, thank you. I know that you are off soon to yet another community event, so we wish you a good evening and thank you for being here tonight. Our next team is the South Brevard Sharing Center, who also put together an anniversary marketing campaign, but with a different twist. So welcome the South Brevard Sharing Center CAP team.
Thank you for the introduction, Kristen. Can you hear me okay? Thank you, Kristen. Am I coming through loud and clear?
Yes, Kit, you are. Thank you.
Thank you. So it's my pleasure to present the South Brevard Sharing Center 50th Anniversary Marketing Campaign presentation. And I'd like to introduce you to the best CAP group within the best class in Lead Brevard. So our group is comprised of Mary Baldino from Via Space, Aaron Murphy from City of West Melbourne, Veronica Narvaez from Canaveral Port Authority, Kaylin Woods from the United Way, and myself from the Insurance Office of America. Now, our team partnered with the South Brevard Sharing Center to originally assist in their 50th anniversary marketing campaign. The project was focused on enhancing community engagement and awareness through the two following initiatives. There were kind of two pillars to our project with them. One being social media content production. We were to assess, establish a baseline, consult with the Sharing Center, and review the analytics based on our original consultation and looking at their data. We were planning to gather content, and then at the end of the project, we were going to deliver the content in a coordinated marketing plan that they could use throughout the course of our project and in the future as well after the commencement of our project. The second pillar to our project with them was a video, basically a video production piece. Our job was to source a production studio that could do some pro bono work for us and our CAP group. We were to schedule some interviews and incorporate volunteer events such as the Magic of Christmas event. A little bit of background on the South Brevard Sharing Center for those of you that are not familiar. We learned a ton about this initiative and how broad it reaches in the Brevard community. So for 50 years, the South Brevard Sharing Center has been providing food, clothing, and assistance to those in need. And they serve through a food pantry. They help people experiencing homelessness, and they also support those in need of financial assistance and resources to go out and find careers and jobs. Their core values are to support, strengthen, and empower the community. And so our job was to create a finished product that creates awareness for the South Brevard Sharing Center, and particularly to showcase them at their 50th anniversary. In the same way that they support the community, our goal was to support, strengthen, and empower them. And so the first key structural component of our project was to support them. And so we did reach out and initially seek video and volunteer support for their Magic of Christmas event. The outcome from our participation through volunteer efforts at that event and the content that we gathered affected over 200 families. It was very impactful. So we strengthened the South Brevard Sharing Center through social media support. We, after review of their program, we tied multiple platforms together, and we used a program called Canva. We taught them how to implement some AI solutions that is going to help them with content creation, because they're not using any sort of outside firms. They're doing this all internally. The tools that we provided them, combined with our marketing plan, had an impact to volunteers, donors, participants, and all stakeholders of the Sharing Center. We empowered them by providing a final deliverable, a video, that reaches a very broad audience, something that they wanted when we first consulted with them. There's multiple uses for, of this video for events, for social media posts, and the format we provided allows them to chop things up and use them over the course of a year or even 2 years. So we did encounter some challenges. We originally had some misalignment with the first videography studio that we hired. We just didn't really see the same angle, so we actually decided to take the project in-house. We did have some internal changes with our organization, with the Sharing Center, that led to some social media delays. And we did have some interview scheduling problems, so we had to take a very collaborative approach, and we kind of had to hit and move amongst our group to see who was available to make certain deadlines and certain on-site visits. We had some issues with people being comfortable being okay in the video content that we created. And then we also had some changes with the original founding point of contact that we started the project with. So we had to adjust to that. We had tons of wins over the course of this very successful project. We did implement a successful social media strategy. We were crucial to the success of their Magic for Christmas event, as they were short-staffed on volunteers. We produced a commemorative video with multiple usage. We collaborated with the Sharing Center. We helped them with their analytics and taught them a lot about how to utilize them. And we developed a very flexible marketing plan. For sake of time, I'm going to kind of speed through this, but this is basically some snippets from the final marketing plan we delivered. And we have a video to share with you.
For over 50 years, the South Brevard Sharing Center has strengthened our community, empowered those in need, and supported countless families with compassionate care. Their work reminds us of the power of kindness and the difference we can make together.
The South Brevard Sharing Center, one of the most important things that we do is we strengthen, we support, and we empower. It's very important that when we're meeting with a client, we can see all of their needs. If they're coming to the food pantry, chances are that they always have something else that they need as well. With our wraparound program, we're able to sit with a client, we're able to talk with them one-on-one, find out what they're struggling with, what they need, maybe what they have questions about, and we're able to assist them in moving towards self-sufficiency. We do have healthcare and food stamps upstairs, which allows us to send a client up there to apply for those. Once a week, we do have someone come with the free phone program. So we're really trying to work within the community to be a one-stop shop so clients aren't having to go from place to place to place, because that can be overwhelming. It can be stressful. They have a lot going on. So we want to mitigate that as much as possible to allow them to build a rapport, build a relationship, learn to trust, and then we're able to walk with them through to what they consider self-sufficiency.
It's a great place. It really is a great place.
The South Brevard Sharing Center has made a big difference in our community. They help people who need it most with kindness, care, and support. But they can't do it alone. They're always looking for volunteers and donations to keep making things better. Let's work together to help even more people and make our community stronger.
We feed a multitude of folks here on a daily basis, so we want to make sure that we always have volunteers ready to help and we have the assistance that we need. Volunteering is a great experience. You come in, you meet different people with various walks of life. You get to have a one-on-one interaction. A lot of them would love to tell you about their lives. You get to know them a little bit. From a volunteer perspective, there are folks who have volunteered here for 10 years or so and love it. It shows a commitment they have to their community and a commitment they have to us.
I have 2 daughters, and we only have one in common, and it helps tremendous when we need it, for sure.
And we are forever grateful.
So the key takeaway for us in commencement of the project was that you have to be really flexible when you're supporting the needs of a not-for-profit, especially when they're limited on staff and resources. And we felt the team did a really good job of changing course when we needed to and supporting each other within the team. We learned a lot, and we've come out as friends and colleagues in the community. Follow the South Brevard Sharing Center on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. You can start a food drive through the South Brevard Sharing Center. And we're pleased to be able to raise awareness for this organization in the community, and thankful for the chance to work with Lead Brevard.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. Again, you're seeing a theme here where there's so many needs in our community. The leadership of you all being involved with these various nonprofit partners, pushing your leadership skills towards solutions, overcoming challenges, and coming out on top is absolutely fabulous. Our next project is the Space Coast Habitat for Humanity Undercover Habitat Volunteer Experience. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. What do you get when you combine hammers, paintbrushes, hard hats, and hidden identities? No, it's not the plot of a new superhero movie. It's our Lead Brevard CAP team working undercover as volunteers for Habitat for Humanity. On this slide, we introduce you to the 5 members of our CAP team: Chad, Jennifer, myself, Stephanie, and Michael. As part of our CAP project, we traded in our day-to-day titles and went behind the scenes, not just to help build homes, but to help build insight on behalf of Habitat for Humanity leadership. As you can see, our team is comprised of leaders from a wide spectrum of industries, which allowed us to each bring a distinctive lens to this experience. The unique objective of our CAP project was to serve as undercover volunteers and equip leadership with honest recommendations and valuable feedback about our experiences. Only 2 leaders within the Space Coast Habitat for Humanity organization were aware of this initiative. As an organization that relies heavily on volunteers and is constantly striving to improve their volunteer retention efforts, their leadership expressed how essential it was for them to continue to strengthen their volunteer program and identify areas that they can improve. Habitat for Humanity is a global nonprofit organization that helps individuals and families build and improve a place to call home. Founded in 1976, Habitat for Humanity works with local communities across 50 states and more than 70 countries. They partner with volunteers, donors, and future homeowners who contribute sweat equity by helping to build their own homes or homes for others. Habitat for Humanity offers affordable homeownership opportunities through low or no interest loans, which in turn makes housing attainable for families who may need a hand up, not a handout. With a mission to help build strength, stability, and self-reliance through shelter, Habitat for Humanity is transforming lives, neighborhoods, and futures one home at a time. Now my teammate Chad is going to share what our team's impact was over the last few months.
Community impact. The Habitat CAP team collectively put in more than 40 hours of sweat equity for volunteer work at on-site locations while we were taking notes, observations on things such as branding, parking, and personnel interactions. Habitat for Humanity bravely requested our constructive feedback towards improving their daily operations, and we're excited to present to them our findings. Through this undercover process, we are able to provide Habitat with a compiled report of our observations and recommendations from both a first-time and repeat volunteer perspective. The goals of these efforts are to enhance the volunteer experience, which will help retain existing volunteers and encourage new volunteers alike. Our on-site team participated in multiple home build opportunities, volunteering at Habitat Restore locations, veteran residence assistance, and media groundbreaking events in Cocoa, Rockledge, Melbourne, and Palm Bay. While we were focusing on the mission goals of finding areas for improvement, Habitat's many strengths in their organization naturally came to the forefront. So before we jump into any of the areas where Habitat can make some improvements, we want to put a little bit of focus on the wins that Habitat really excels in. So one of those areas is in training. They have a very comprehensive volunteer training program for both volunteers and employees that is tailored to the level of volunteerism that you're deciding to engage in. On the collaboration side, the fact that Habitat even wanted to take on an undercover CAP project that was geared to bring forth critiques of the organization, that's in and of itself a hallmark of a healthy organization that recognizes the value of outside perspectives. On the technology front, in the middle of the project, the Habitat rolled out a new Civic Champs online volunteer platform. That platform has already improved communication with volunteers, while the staff continues to learn how to use the full extent of this new communication tool. On the leadership standpoint, every Habitat employee that we were exposed to on the project sites and stores was awesome. They made us feel invited, welcome, and valued, and their faith and heart and their desire to give back to the community always overshadowed any critiques that we may have found. Finally, community engagement. Habitat is very active in the community with local business events and fundraisers. This helps to drive brand awareness and mission, which is key for drawing in new volunteers. This is just a little taste of what Habitat does really well, and now Jennifer's going to lightly touch on some of the areas of improvement that we observed.
Growth comes from recognizing what can improve and acting with purpose. Habitat has opportunities to expand volunteer engagement by offering more hands-on construction roles beyond painting and landscaping. Improved communication like text alerts or a centralized portal can enhance efficiency. Short notice scheduling is a hurdle. A structured sign-up system would give volunteers time to plan. Better onboarding and a mobile-friendly handbook would reduce confusion and promote professionalism. And finally, incorporating homeowner stories can deepen emotional connection and inspire long-term involvement. Addressing these challenges will help Habitat create an even greater impact in the communities they serve. Serving undercover with Habitat showed us that strong leadership comes through listening, trust, and empowerment. Habitat fosters this by encouraging curiosity and collaboration among volunteers. We saw adaptive leadership in action through schedule changes, safety needs, and technology like Civic Champs. Clear onboarding and structured communication build trust and engagement. But the most powerful of all was the human connection, showing us that shared purpose is at the heart of lasting leadership. Our team's journey with Habitat for Humanity showed us that the impact of a single volunteer moment can echo for a lifetime. This work doesn't just change the lives of those who receive homes, it transforms the hearts of those who give their time, talents, and energy. And now we invite you to be part of that ripple effect. Whether it's volunteering on site, donating items, or simply sharing the mission, every action helps bring us closer to a world where everyone has a safe place to call home. So we ask you, what will you build today? Visit spacecoasthabitat.org to volunteer, give, or connect with others ready to make a difference. Habitat doesn't just build homes, they build hope, dignity, and lasting change. When we volunteer and serve with purpose, we don't just lift walls, we lift each other. Thank you for trusting in us and allowing us to share our experience.
Thank you all. What a great group that you've learned so much and be able to help Space Coast Habitat for Humanity. And I agree that it's a potentially, as a nonprofit, it's potentially risky to say, somebody come and look at what we do and tell us how we can improve. And that in of itself is leadership. And I think you've done a really nice job of pointing out what they do well and where they have opportunities for improvement and engagement. So listening, trust, collaboration, all of those things are so important. Thank you. Our next group is the Arc of the Space Coast.
All right, thank you, Kristen, and good evening, everyone. We had the privilege to work with the Arc of the Space Coast, and we are excited to share our community acceleration project with you all this evening. Now, none of this work is done alone, so before we highlight the scope of our project, I just want to take a moment to highlight our amazing CAP team, which consisted of Amy Beth Pinto, myself, Haley Allegra, Michael Mooring, Nicole Rowe, and Thomas McCaffrey. Now, there's so many great things and positive ways that the Arc of the Space Coast has made an impact in Brevard County. But before we share those with you, it's only right to introduce the team that makes it all happen. So we've got Vanessa Vinicombe, she's the president and CEO of the Arc, Anthony Alexis, the fundraising and marketing coordinator, and Michelle Vical Smith, who's the operations consultant. This outstanding team works tirelessly and truly embodies the Arc of the Space Coast mission. For those who may not know about the great works of the Arc, this incredible organization's mission is dedicated to enriching the lives of adults with intellectual and developmental and physical disabilities throughout our community. The Arc has been a part of our community since 1956, and their goal is to support individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, helping them live more independent, meaningful lives. What they do really matters, and not just for the people that they serve, but for all of us. They provide a wide range of services, like day services, which serve more than 100 individuals each day, residential programs that have over 47 adults living in their group homes, and then veterans resources, which we all know are very crucial, as 20% of veterans have been diagnosed with PTSD. Now I'm going to turn it over to Amy to provide an overview of our CAP project. Amy?
For the next slide. When we received the CAP overview, the CAP program overview, there was several different asks from the organization. And so as a team, we kind of took a step back and thought about what was the time that we had to dedicate and what could we do to enact change and help them within their organization. And out of the ask, we decided to focus on two things. Number one being increasing community engagement and awareness through leveraging our own network in the community and the network that Leadership Brevard provided all of us. And also designing a volunteer program which the impact could be easily measured and that they could continue executing on well after the CAP program concluded. If we go to the next slide, here are a few of our actions that we took as a team. So number one, we increased awareness of the volunteer opportunities that they have at the Arc of the Space Coast with local organizations and large companies in Brevard County. So now the ARC is on approved not-for-profit lists for some of the largest companies in town, which we'll share a little bit later on. We also researched a way that they could utilize existing technology to develop their volunteer platform to be able to track individuals' volunteer interest, develop and utilize programs to put out onto the internet, and also to track hours logged for volunteering. We utilized the existing technology that they already had through Donor Perfect, which they use for their donations. We took training classes and figured out ways that they could also use that same platform for volunteering, which allowed them to utilize that at zero additional cost. We created a standard operating plan for them to consider a step-by-step plan to create a sustainable volunteer program. And also we organized and executed a volunteer event on site at the Ark of the Space Coast, which Mike will share a little bit more about.
Sure. Thanks, Amy. And as many of you were struggling with your projects, we were struggling to gain momentum. So we felt we needed to do something tangible for the organization. And one of those things that we did was our beautification project. We had over 27 volunteers participate. Over a dozen of those were members of the ARC staff, as well as residents from their residencies and their day services. We were able to get 4 pallets of supplies donated by Lowe's, and we had several other carloads of stuff that was dropped off to us to help with our project. We took our efforts and our labor to 3 different locations, the main facility daycare, as well as 2 residence homes, and planted, mulched, built out all the beautification that we had planned for the day. And as you would imagine, we got hundreds of smiles and thank yous, and it was really engaging project for us because we were not only able to interact with each other as a CAP team, with the ARC staff, as well as the residents that were participating in the program. So very fulfilling for our entire team. Next slide, please. And so what sort of impact do you think that our project is going to have going forward? Well, it's really going to have the potential to build a sustainable volunteer pool and program for the Ark of the Space Coast, right? We're making those connections. We have made those connections with several business leaders in order to build a robust and sustainable volunteer program. And we've laid out and worked with them the framework in order to manage that with systems and processes in order to continue to make it sustainable and build upon itself. And obviously, you know, we did spruce up the places a little bit by doing our beautification day, which was what we feel was very impactful to not only ourselves, but the staff and the residents themselves. So I'm now turning it over to Thomas.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, well put. You know, as Michael mentioned, some of the challenges that we had, you know, we had a little slow start trying to get things and grasp and understand the overall goal of the project. You know, after a few meetings and discussions, you know, we came together to find some ways on how we can benefit the Ark of the Space Coast. And, you know, some of those ways were the beautification project. We all got together and organized and helped with the landscaping of their whole property. You know, we generated connections with the ARC volunteer program to grow and sustain the volunteers, as I'll show you on the next slide. And we made some connections with members in Leadership Brevard class, which in turn led to us finding connections for the ARC. And as Amy mentioned, we did create an SOP with guidelines to help with the ARC moving forward and to give them some direction. Here are the partners that we were able to help get with the ARC. And a couple of our classmates helped us out with the ViStar and the Embraer. And then people on the team here were able to get with the other ones. You know, we had a couple meetings with the Brevard schools schools representatives, and they were also looking into adding the ARC into their list of programs.
Awesome. So thanks, Thomas. Through our experience supporting the ARC of the Space Coast, we identified these 3 key areas around lessons learned. First and foremost, empowerment and delegation, learning about ourselves and our team members to see how we could delegate and manage tasks effectively. It really held us accountable, and it allowed us to build our skills as leaders to incorporate ownership among the team members. Flexibility and adaptability was the second area. Projects often face unexpected challenges, as we've heard from all of you this evening, so we were not unique in this. Timelines, resource availability. But what we really learned from this was we needed to be adaptable, resilient, fostering a problem-solving mindset. And then finally, much like the rest of you, clear and concise communications is crucial. We didn't want to have any misunderstandings around expectations, progress, or anything else that we needed to have a clear understanding of to move the work forward. So how can you help? We would really like for you to help continue to support the ARC of the Space Coast with us. Think about adding them as a corporate volunteer. If you have that program within your organization, consider organizing a community event or becoming a volunteer yourself. Thank you all for your time.
Gosh, thank you all. And I absolutely love both the beautification and the lessons learned and the challenges. And particularly, I heard the word connections, because Leadership Brevard is all about connections, connecting to each other, learning to lead together, and connecting to the community. So thank you for those stellar communications. Our final project presentation this evening is with the Thule Community Development Group, East Mims Renaissance. Looking forward to this. Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen, and congratulations, everyone. You all have done a great job tonight with your presentations. I'm George Fraser, and our team is honored to present the East Mims Renaissance Revitalization Project. This project is about honoring East Mims' legacy while building a stronger, more vibrant future for generations to come. And this slide just shows what we're going to be talking about today, starting with our team. Our Leadership Brevard class of 25, best team ever. Best class ever also. Consists of Nina Mosier, John Taft, Bianca Booz, David Kelly, and myself, George Fraser. We bring a broad range of experience to this project. We want to thank Ms. Karen Thule Curry for this opportunity and our proud partner with the Thule Community Development Group, whose mission is to revitalize the East Mims community by leveraging historic legacy and culture to drive economic growth. Our goals for this project were to leverage the historical legacy for revitalization, to instill pride and self-esteem in the youth, and to promote cultural tourism and economic development that sustains growth over time. In our project, we found that East Mims is home to some powerful stories, starting with the Harry T. Moore and Harriet V. Moore civil rights leadership, the Kyler and Campbell families community development building, and the educational impact of the East Mims and Clifton Colored Schools. We also saw the incredible impact of the hidden figures of NASA. You know, East Mims has a lot of stakeholders, and our stakeholders include schools, businesses, museums, government agencies, and the community at large. All of them are essential to the success of this project. As we started our project, we needed to frame the problem. The problem that we're tackling is twofold. First, preserving East Mims' rich history and addressing economic stagnation. Without action, we risk losing both the physical landmarks and the deep cultural pride that defines this community. Our team recommends a multifaceted strategy. First, conduct the thorough historical research to document key figures and sites. Then, develop a distinctive brand and marketing campaign that tells the East Mims story in a compelling way. Third, we think you should launch a strategic communication and outreach plan to engage local residents, schools, and visitors. Finally, we want you to create an educational and mentorship program that connect youth directly with their community's legacy. Now, David is going to share with us the communication, brand, and marketing plan.
Thanks, George. So this slide represents our strategy in action, framed through a simple but powerful model: ends, ways, and means. The ways are how we drive change, what actions we're going to take. The ends are our goals, the vision we're aiming for. And the means, shown along the bottom timeline, are the resources and partnerships we'll mobilize to make it all possible. First, we start with historical outreach. We can't build forward without looking back. By learning from East Mims' rich legacy and the people who shaped it, we ground our work in community wisdom. Second, we build a communication and outreach plan with the community, not for it. The goal here is empowerment. By celebrating local stories and creating visible paths for success, we instill pride in today's youth. And finally, we elevate East Mims through a thoughtful branding and marketing strategy. This isn't about logos, it's about legacy. We'll partner with local creatives and residents to define the narrative, then promote it to draw in visitors, investment, and opportunity. Now I'm going to hand it over to Bianca, who's going to talk about our project's community impact. Bianca?
So our project is focused on bolstering the East Mims community. With emphasis on bringing awareness to the historical foundations of East Mims and supporting the future leaders of Brevard through mentorship. Measurable changes for this project would include increased tourism, improved infrastructure, economic impact, and increased affordability. Overall, that will improve the quality of life in East Mims community and just creating another jewel in our community that we can take pride for. And as a group, we assisted in raising awareness, providing third-party verification, and improved the ability to secure funding. Next slide, please. All right, so call to action and how can we all help? So spreading awareness of Thule CDG and this project, and immerse yourself in the history by visiting the Moore Center, which we all should have visited before because it's a beautiful and it's really historical. And of course, supporting local businesses in East Mims like Tootie's Grocery. And then as a community, take action to spark this movement. And then I'll give it over to Nina.
Thanks, Bianca. The East Mims Revitalization Project presented us with a challenge that was initially ambiguous, complex, and far-reaching. Early in the process, we embraced those challenges and made a key pivot, choosing to create a strategic plan unconstrained by funding. While we remain hopeful that financial support will follow in time, our focus shifted to what we could control, defining the problem, seeking meaningful solutions, and staying on task in our efforts. That mindset shift, choosing purpose over limitation, wasn't easy, but it brought us together as a group and deepened our emotional connection to this project. So in conclusion, we do have a few Leadership Brevard thoughts to share. First, we quickly realized the value of face-to-face collaboration. Zoom just wasn't effective for the kind of work this project demanded. There's a broader lesson here, which is meaningful progress begins with showing up. We held each other accountable and stayed focused in our roles, not through rigid boundaries, but through mutual respect. That accountability came from taking the time to genuinely know each other and build trust. We discovered that meaningful change happens at the intersection of listening, partnership, and action. True revitalization is not a construction project. It's an ongoing movement. And there's great opportunity to build with the residents of East Mims, not just simply for them. Finally, advancing the Moore legacy isn't just symbolic, it's a call to action. This project, with all of its challenges, reminded us that revitalization is a matter of social justice. It's about long-term commitment, community empowerment, and equity-driven leadership. As leaders in Brevard County, we're uniquely positioned to amplify voices, foster collaboration, and turn ideas into impact. Let's continue to champion East Mims, not just as a project, but as a model for inclusive, place-based leadership that uplifts every corner of our community. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. You know, well, we've had 9 projects this year, and they've all been in incredible success on so many fronts. Nina, I just heard which could be our new slogan for CAP, future projects, ideas into impact. Because every single one of these projects has turned ideas into impact. Remember the numbers that I mentioned at the beginning of tonight's show in terms of the financial contributions you've all made, but just what a group of successful projects. I want to extend my thanks and acknowledgement to all of you for all of your hard work. I want to also recognize, I know that we have several board members from our Lead Brevard Board of Directors on the calls this evening. So Clinton Hatcher, who's with the Community Credit Union, Scott Eller with Morse Communications, Michelle Morell, who's with Florida Power and Light, Kaori Fisher, who's with Edward Jones. And I want to recognize, I promised you earlier that you'd hear briefly from our board chairman, Shayla Murray Smith. So I want to invite Shayla to come on camera and help us say thank you again, and to close out this evening, Ideas into Impact. Shayla?
Good evening. Congratulations, everyone. I love Ideas to Impact. That is truly what you all displayed this evening. And again, congratulations, class of 2025. You did it. You showed up, you leaned in and made real lasting impact. Thank you to the nonprofits. Your work is extremely vital in our community. And remember, use the network, stay connected, stay engaged. We, as a person that represents a nonprofit, and honestly, that had a CAP team, we want to stay connected to you all. The impact that you made, we want to see that turn into legacy. So please, please, please stay connected with your nonprofits and don't let this end. Lead Brevard's mission is working together to strengthen our community by inspiring people to lead. You've lived that mission this year. And on behalf of the board and the staff, thank you. Congratulations. Keep leading. Keep building a better Brevard. And you want to know how to continue to inspire, tell them to enroll in the class of 2026. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you, Candace. Thank you to our board. We appreciate you all. In class of 2025, I got a chance to speak to you all at the beginning of the year, and I stand here or sit here today saying I am so very proud of you all, and I can't wait to celebrate with you all next week.
Thank you, Shayla. And again, thank you all for all of the work, time, energy, thought, time, talent, and treasure that you've all contributed to our community over these last several months. We're so, so proud of you and the work that you've done. And thank you from all of us. And thank you for supporting our community, because that's really what you've done. These ideas into impact through the community acceleration projects. Every single project that came up tonight, it's like, oh my goodness, and this, and this, and this. And I just hope you conclude this evening with the pride that you also self-deserve for the work that you've done and the accomplishments that you've achieved.